Hello everyone. In this video tutorial, we're going to talk about Gantt views. To get started, we've created a new XtraBuild designer project and also attached a new database to it. Let's have a look at the table structure in the database by going to the Design Tables button. And we can see that there's only one table created, the default one. Okay. Now we're going to the Desktop tab, and we can see that the Gantt view is available in the Office section of the ribbon bar. And we're going to click on it. And this is going to open up the Gantt View Manager. To create a new Gantt view, just click on the plus sign over here. And this is going to create a new Gantt view. Now, if we go back by clicking Save and Close and go back to the Projects tab and have a look at the tables that have been created, we can see that there are 15 new tables created for the Gantt view. Now, remember that no matter how many Gantt views you will create, the number of tables that you see over here will not increase. This is the standard structure that the Gantt view uses for its entire functionality. But of course, you can create extra tables besides the structure that can be connected to the existing ones, depending on your needs and what you're trying to accomplish over here. But this is the standard structure that the Gantt view is going to use. Now, going back to our Gantt view. Okay. We can see different properties of the Gantt view by looking in the right place, like the properties options over here. We can have a look at the relationships that exist with this Gantt view, and also we can have a look at a couple of the columns that exist for the tasks that will be defined in this Gantt view. But let's have a closer look at the Gantt view itself by clicking on Edit. Now, as you can see, this is an unnamed project, which is part of the new Gantt that we have created. And to make sure we're on the same page, we have to understand that a Gantt view can store multiple projects. For example, you can create one Gantt view for the entire team, but the entire team will handle multiple projects. That's how this is going to work. One Gantt view is going to manage multiple projects. And now, you can define particular information about your projects by clicking on the Project Info button. This is going to open up the project settings. Of course, you can give it a title. Let's rename this to Project 1. And of course, you have multiple settings that you can define over here, like icons, properties, granularity. You have a project description that you can put in. You have settings for the project calendar, like the work days. You have different diagram styles, bar styles, and so on. Now you can directly interact with the Gantt view by going back in time or forward in time, by adding new tasks like this. You can see that by double-clicking on this timeline, the tasks have been automatically added over here and also visually on the timeline. Besides adding tasks to a particular project, you are able to add resources to a particular task. For example, if we have this task selected, you can add a resource by adding this button. Let's say we're going to add John. Okay, click OK. And we can see that John has been assigned to this particular task, to task number 2. Now, if we want to have a look at the list of our resources, we can click over here on this button. And we're going to see all the people that can be assigned to tasks. You can also add new ones. For example, we can add a new resource called Mary. You can also put in particular descriptions. You can see what tasks have been assigned to the resource and so on. Click OK. And we can see that John and Mary are available to be assigned to particular tasks in our project. Now remember that if you have multiple projects in the same Gantt view, you're going to be able to see all the available resources, assigned or unassigned, in all the projects, because you're going to be able to assign John or Mary to different tasks in different projects, but being part of the same Gantt view. Okay. Besides all the quick access buttons that you can see on the ribbon bar, from which you can save a project, open a new one, add resources to your tasks, or play with the view options, you can manage your project from the buttons situated on the left side of the screen. The first one is the Gantt chart. From this one, you can see a list of all your tasks on the left side of the screen and visually represented on the timeline on the right side. If you wish to go into more details about the settings of a task, you can double-click one, and this is going to open up the task properties. From here, you can edit the title of the task, you can set the priority, you can put in constraints, for example, earliest start date, earliest end date. You can put in descriptions, dependencies, resources, and so on. And basically, this is the place where you can manage all the properties of a particular task, as you would do in any major project management tool as Microsoft Project. Okay, let's close this window. And now if we go to the next button, this is going to be the resource chart. The resource chart is going to show us all the tasks that have been allocated to all our available resources, if they have free time available, if they are over allocated, and these situations are going to be represented visually on the right side by these lines having different colors. Now we're going to continue with our third button over here, which is the groups. Yes, tasks can be grouped into groups. The next one is the resources, and we've covered this a bit earlier. And the last one is the skills button. From this section, you're able to put in multiple skills, which ultimately can be assigned to particular resources. Now, if we go back to a particular task and go to the work section, you're going to be able to select a particular skill, which is desired to accomplish a particular task. And the software is going to look automatically for available resources that can be allocated to this task based on the skill that you're going to select from this dropdown. Click OK. And basically, this is how Gantt view works in XtraBuild Designer. We've covered all the basic functionalities, the basic sections of a Gantt view in a particular project, but we're going to cover more functionalities of a Gantt view in different videos.